Hello, everyone. When I was a kid, I was really looking up to my grandparents. And for me, they were the biggest role models. But that was a different time. I remember that living in the countryside, both my grandparents were farmers. And on top of that, my grandfather was a postman. At that time, it was a very noble job. To the countryside places, there was not so much bank offices, there was no internet, there was no way to get your salary, to get your pension plan. It was all postmen that would carry it for you. So you cannot imagine how proud it would make me as a kid to bike with him through the village, where all people would know him, where all people would respect him as the man who is actually carrying their money, who is carrying the letters from their close ones. That was a very distinctive job. So of course it made me really motivated to, when I was becoming adult, to make my grandfather proud. So I went through school. It's very easy to define success at school. Then you have the grades. It's quite easy. You bring your notes. The grandparents are getting proud. I went to university, and then it became a bit tricky, because I studied quantitative methods in economy. To explain this to my farmer grandparents became a bit difficult. But the word economy would ring a bell. They would figure out I would work in a bank. I would start doing something out of myself when I'm an adult. Then I graduated and I started working in marketing. And then I started really struggling to explain the job that I do to my grandparents. So I told them, hey, how to explain to them a concept that I sit in the office the whole day. I type a lot in the computer. That's all part of my job. I meet a lot of people. I do a lot of phone calls. I do international phone calls. So to describe my job was just not enough. And then one day we were sitting in the living room with my grandparents. I was visiting them over summer. And there was an advertisement on TV that I did. And it was featuring a famous celebrity. It was a shampoo advertisement. And we are sitting there, and I finally thought I found a way to explain to my grandparents what am I doing. So I point out at the advertisement, and I thought, look, Grandpa, look at that. I made this. I negotiated the contract with the celebrity. I made a shoot of this copy. I developed a concept for it. And I made all the research leading to creating this wonderful shampoo. And then my grandfather gets really awkward and looks away. So I ask him, what's wrong? And he says, I thought you would become a teacher. So that was my moment of not making my grandparents proud, or not being able to explain to them why should they be proud. The World Economic Forum is estimating that 60 to 80% of the jobs that our kids will take do not exist at the moment. So what are the skills? What are the education and preparation that we can give our kids that make them ready for those jobs? We ask ourselves this question in Lego a lot because we work with children. We work on developing them, on growing them. And there was one particular topic that we wanted to take here in the region, and we posted this video, actually, that I wanted to show you and ask the same question. So we posted this video on social media, and we asked the moms and dads, what will this kid become? And the answer started. He will become an engineer, he will become a pilot, an architect, a designer. There was quite a lot of the sentences around who this boy will become. And then we posted the second video. So as much as there was no surprise that the child that has a STEM interest in building and construction has a chance to become someone in the future interested in that area, there was practically no one that admitted it can be a girl. So it sparkled quite a lot of discussion there inside that why do we all operate as parents, as teachers, as humans in the unconscious bias that certain areas of education are more preferred for boys than the girls? Why is it so easy to assume that in the mathematics, in science, we'll have prominently bigger representation of boys? And what do we do as parents, as teachers, to actually bring this unconscious bias or overcome it? But stepping aside a bit and thinking, why actually kids play, and what does it matter? Why does it matter that parents thought, or moms or dads thought that a kid playing with just bricks is a boy? So why kids play? Why did we develop play as human beings at all? We asked this actually question, around 6,000 parents around the world. We asked the very same question, why do you think kids play? And the answers that we got are quite overwhelming. Over 90% of parents, almost 100% of parents all around the world said that the kids play because it develops their curiosity, develops imagination, creativity, social skills, communication skills, confidence, and learning from your mistakes. It teaches you resilience. So if we reserve the creative play to just one of the genders, are we limiting the other ones? Are we really putting enough of the emphasis on bringing boys and girls creatively in the same way? Because all the skills that you see behind me, they are not gender focused. They are not gender unique. They are gender neutral. So if we imagine a kid that is growing up and is supposed to grow up as a successful adult in any job, all those skills matter. So when I discussed it here with the parents a lot, and when I would go to the home interviews and give a box of Lego actually to a girl, very often the mother would take it out of her hands and tell her, hey, let your brother build it for you. What do you think it happens like in the mind of a girl when she hears it? Am I capable? Am I good enough of seriously putting two bricks together? And it's a bit of our own assessment and our own gender stereotyping in our minds as adults that is imposed on the kids in this process. That is defining whether a girl is later on having enough of confidence to step up in the classroom on the science or mathematics and actually say that I can do it. I can compare myself equally well to boys or girls. It's something that we do entering the shop and turning into the pink alley immediately. And you know what? Somehow all education toys, all creative toys are in the blue alley. So if you're a parent that navigates the store towards the pink zone, you will not even find yourself in a zone where the more creative toys are located. And the funny argument I also heard from the parents quite a lot is boys are naturally more talented to play with plastic bricks. And whenever I hear this, I also reflect thinking, hey, yeah, remember when we were all, or our ancestors were monkeys on the tree and naturally they were more inclined to play with plastic bricks? That is something that always triggers also a thought on me, what is that we do with the upbringing that by the age of 8, boys tend to be crazy about all the STEM-related toys, and girls tend to think that their place is to play with palaces and princesses and kitchen sets. Because at the end, when we move from as simple toys as creative puzzles and Rubik cubes and bricks, then we move to STEM and coding. We move to the areas that are, again, if you look right now on the outcome of the graduates of the engineering and technical jobs, that will be mostly boys. But where does it start? It starts on your carpet where the girl is reaching out for a toy and you take it out of her hand and you tell her that her brother can do it better. Play can empower. Play can give the child a confidence to really believe in themselves, to bring something creative to you as a parent and say, hey, mom, hey, dad, I did this. Look what I've done. And this is why the responsibility for play, responsibility for developing really successful adults lies in all the angles. Starts with the parents at home, continues through the teachers at school. You know, when I was a kid, I would be quite good at math. And then at the same time, every time I would do well on the exam, I would hear from my teacher, hey, you're good at math and you're a girl. Then does it make you feel on one hand proud? Yes, I did well, and I shouldn't because I'm a girl probably. And then it makes you feel out of place. It makes you feel that you got lucky. That was just somehow a mistake. So it really moves through the classroom, through equally treating in all the STEM activities, boys and girls, and giving them the same amount of encouragement. And then, of course, it finishes on the responsibility of the toy industry, of delivering the right environment in the stores, in the advertisement, in everything that we do to support all girls and boys equally. Because the future of every girl, the future job, the future competences, they start at the moment that she picks up the toy from the shelf. Thank you very much.